Hi, this is Trevor with Trevor's Tech Tips. I'm here to give you another demonstration of one of my favorite websites. It's called EZSite.ai. What it is a artificial intelligence AI generator for generating websites, not just landing pages, like full-blown web applications and websites. And so I thought I would show you some tips for doing it and hopefully saving yourself a few AI credits in the way using some free tools. All right, so this is the normal landing page. I'm going to go ahead and sign in using social login. It's just the easiest. Don't have to remember a password, a little more secure. And go ahead and log into my account and go to the EZAI dashboard. All right, so this is the application front end for building your website. But first, one thing to recognize is that the accounts for these have a certain amount of AI credits that translates into a certain number of times that you can type a prompt in and hit execute. So to save yourself a few prompts, there's a trick that I use, and I use this pretty much everywhere that I use AI to improve and save myself some effort and some credits along the way. So I'm going to go pull up a word here. So tip number one is to make every single prompt count. All right, what's one way that we can do that? So since AI provides a metered number of prompt credits depending on your account level, one thing you can do is sort of refine your prompt before you submit it. So how do you do that? So my first suggestion is going to be, like, first you write your raw prompt, sort of like what do I want? In broad terms, what am I trying to get at? And the example I'm going to use for this demo today, I thought would be to generate a prompt for a cat services, a local cat services website. So you've got a business, you offer services for people. I don't even know for sure which ones I'm going to come up with. I'm going to let the AI hopefully help with that. And you need a landing page and a website to provide your storefront and to show your services to the local community. And so here we go. So my raw prompt is like, I am using an AI website generator called EZSite.ai to make a new website for my cat services company. Please improve this prompt. And then you write the prompt. Say, so website for local high quality cat services company. I want it to use bright, cheerful primary colors. I want it to be funny and eye-catching and maybe make fun of cat obsession just a little bit, and think of potential high-value services that you could provide to local cat owners, because I don't do this for a living. I just thought I'd maybe let the AI help a little bit. And then the landing page must be like high converting landing page. What does a high converting landing page mean? It means it engages them, it prompts them to eventually, tell the website owner who they are, to engage with them more on soon. That's first part of encourage conversion is to get a ongoing relationship with the customer, and it could be as simple as collecting an email address in order that you can send them additional information and offer them additional services, and hopefully try to build a long-term relationship off of that. And so I'm thinking, so maybe we have a free offer to help with the conversions, maybe a local pet alert service newsletter that talks about, like, weather triggered pet services, regular grooming events, routine medical care reminders, and that sort of thing. That'd be of value to them. Doesn't cost an awful lot of money to put those kind of reminders together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this raw prompt, right? And I'm going to go to another service. In this case, I'm going to go to a free one. If you have a Google account, if you type Gemini at google.com, it should take you to a free AI prompt landing page. And we're going to see if it'll improve our prompt. So there's our prompt. All right, I'm using a generator. Please improve this prompt. And there, let's see what it comes back with. So this is similar. There's a lot of other ones. Anthropic has one. There's just many AI websites that have a similar front end to this, with you have a form. It's much like the EZSite.ai, where you enter your prompt, and you're having a conversation with the AI chatbot, and it's thinking about what to tell you. So here we go. So it's saying, okay, let's refine the prompt for EZSite.ai to be more detailed and produce a website closer to my vision. So here's the improved AI, improved prompt for AI objective. So I'm just going to copy all of this. So see that, like, couple of sentences I did? It just generated a ton of information. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to paste that back into my Word here so I can show you the reserve one, and I'll provide a link to this after I do. Wow, you can see that's a lot of information. It does sort of have a variable in there we've got to account for, and we'll do that when we do the prompt. And here we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go back to EZSite.ai, and I'm going to paste this into there. And I'm also going to say city area, and I'm gonna give that information up front, and I'm gonna say my city area. My city area is, I'm gonna say it's gonna do Springfield, Ohio. Ohio. Let's see how it does. All right, so we're saving a step. So we've given it that the more information you provide up front for building the website, the more likely you are to get a website that meets your needs, and to save prompts to refine it after you've started. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate my website. Let's see what it looks like. So it's doing its thing. On the left is our prompt. This is our chat conversation that we're having. It's taking that input information. And I built a title for this prompt conversation. Now it's calling Springfield Cat Care. On the right-hand side here is just a visual to show you sort of what the AI is doing in the background. So right now it says it's generating source code files. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that as we go along. So one thing that's important to understand is this is not just a static web page. So this is just not a pretty piece of HTML code up on a website. This is a web application. It does more than just have the visual appearance. It has the capability of storing contact information and a customer relationship management module. It has the ability to send email. We'll see some of the other features, but it has just a lot more features. And they keep adding more, or the option to have more in there. And so here we go. You see, so on the right-hand side, it's actually showing in real time. This is code that it's generating. Okay, it's I believe it's using React.js. And it's building out the pages. And on the left, it's showing you it's created the index file, it created a style file, it created an application, React.js application. It's kind of like a switchboard. And now it's starting to build components. And the components are like the unique chunks of the page that are reusable. So for instance, right now it's working on the nav bar. Now it's working on the footer, because you might imagine that if you have a website or a web application, the header or the nav bar and the footer are going to be reused on every page. And now it's working on a services card. Now it's working on a testimonial card. These are common components to use on a landing page or a website. And testimonial cards are called like social proof. Usually what you do is you'll populate those with testimonials from people that have used your service. And it really helps when people are trying to decide between multiple services. If you see that somebody else recommends it and it's somebody that seems credible, it'll help them decide in your favor. Right now it's working on the newsletter sign up, because I did ask it to help with the conversions by having that newsletter sign up for those services. We'll see how well I did that at contact form. That's another common element you're going to have on your web page, so that when folks are contacting you, and they'll be able to fill out a form, and that'll go into a database, and it'll probably send an email off to your email account. Still working on the contact form, and you see over here on the right hand side, it's working on the contact form still. It's generating the code. See, there we go. There's the email right there that I mentioned. All right. There we go. There's a phone number. It's adding the phone number to the form as we speak. It's neat. It's like if you were a programmer, this would take a lot of time. And here's your AI programmer doing it for you in real time. All right. It's generating the contact form header. It's a home page, which is probably going to take the components and sort of order the components on the home page. And how long have we been at it? Does it have a timer on here? Not yet. I think we're getting close to done, at least with the first iteration. So while it's doing its thing, the other thing I can do is walk you through some of the other UI stuff. So EZSite, the homepage. You have any templates, pricing information, websites, and projects, and this is just a project of which many are using. After we've generated, we use some of the areas over here on the right. This is a new one. They've added the feature to generate an Android app. Think about that. So not only are you going to have your storefront, not only is it interactive and it's going to collect information from potential customers, but it also will generate an Android app that you can use, that people can use to access your services on a mobile device. They can perhaps schedule their cat appointments. And then over here you have code and preview. So we're in preview mode. When it's done, it'll show the actual page. When you click on code, when we're done, it'll actually let you download and edit files. And then settings, and then the database. Sort of the one thing right now is I think once you attach a database, you can't change the database afterwards, from what I understand. I'll try to get more information about that for a future video. And then publish gives us the option when it's done to decide which avenue you want to publish it, whether you want to publish it with them and have it hosted with them, or whether you want to use a third-party website provider or your own website hosting services to host this new site. All right, now it's listing services on pages. So it looks like it's going to have a home page and a services page. That's pretty cool. You can see over here. It looks like it's being creative. Hopefully it's adding a little humor to this. I don't want it to be overly serious. There you go. Specialized care, medication administration, and we might have to tailor this afterwards. Like say, all you're doing is like grooming and stuff, then you might not offer full veterinary services. We'll have to tailor that accordingly, and that's just another prompt. And that's why I say the whole point of saving prompts is that you use the first prompt to get the initial page, and then additional prompts to get to the final point. To make sure it really truly has all the information on the website that you want it to. It's getting close. Now it's doing about us, or about, which I guess will be like more explained. There we go. Founding principle. Let's look at adding some placeholder images. It's actually pretty good at adding relevant placeholder images. Some images are better than others, but this really does seem to come up with decent images. All right, now it's doing the routing and utilities. So that's sort of, I believe, a page that, like, when you click a particular option, like to go to contacts or something, it pulls up the relevant contact, kind of like a switchboard. And it should be really close. You can't probably hear this, but it has like a little video. All right, let's check it out. All right, so it did use bright primary colors, like I asked. So here's it came up with a clever name, the Pampered Paw. That's cute. Springfield's premier cat care, spoil the rotten, worry-free. I like that. It's clever. Professional, trustworthy cat care services for the discerning cat parent. I like all that. About our cat care services, cat sitting, cat grooming, medication administration. And see, it's got nice hover effects, like a little bit of animation. And why choose the Pampered Paw? It's got really nice default images even. Really, it's fantastic. Cat specialist, insured and bonded, daily updates, premium services, overnight stays, behavioral consultation, pet taxi service. That's awesome. And then the testimonials that we mentioned, right? We got the pets. Instead of the owner's faces, they got the pets screenshots. That's cute, right? That's a nice tip. Ready to give treatment, then you can schedule. I wonder if that works. Does it work? Oh, yeah, you can call and schedule. Nice. Ooh, let's go back to the homepage. You see, this is interactive, right? So this page, even though it hasn't been published, it lets you interact with the elements. And here's the newsletter that I asked for. Bright colors. It's fantastic. And it's got a nice footer here, that shows how to navigate to all of those. And that's fantastic. All right, so So now you can see on the left here, right now it's done. So done, task completed. It says, do you want to enable the database? Once the database is set up, it can neither be shut down nor have its type changed. So you probably want to wait until you decide where you're going to host to do that part. But once you activate the database, you can activate it here. I was going to mention, so you can go to the code section here, and you can actually see the code. So these are all of the code files that were generated by the AI just in the last 5-10 minutes, however long that took. You can click on those and see the code. If you are familiar with editing code, you can edit the code here. Here's the pages. There's well-organized components, pages, utilities, and the routes. Like I said, it's like a switchboard. And then your index homepage, and then your CSS style sheet, which gave the bright colors, and you can probably just tweak them here. You can see there's the bright blue that we saw. You can click on it and change it if you wanted like a slightly different hue. I want to see the yellow one. There we go. Newsletter container. So it uses really intuitive naming for the CSS classes too. So you can like obviously know. So I was looking for yellow. I see the little light yellow here, and yes, it is the newsletter container. So if you wanted to tweak that color yellow, you can do it right there. All right. The last thing I'm going to do real quick here is show you like your publish options. And there's multiple options. So you can host it right on EZSite. It's very inexpensive. Hostinger is a really popular host and server provider. WordPress is a very popular platform. It's probably the most popular platform to the web. I think over 40% of the web runs on WordPress, and you can find really inexpensive hosting there. I think it becomes like a React headless app on there, and then Netlify is another one. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose EZSite because I guess that's the easy option, and I'm gonna hit deploy now. I'm gonna copy this link. And you could go ahead and get a custom domain. So you wanted, www.mysite.com. You could set that up. I'm going to go ahead and just go with our temporary one just to show you in a regular page, what it's going to look like. There you go. There's our web page. I'm going to go ahead into developer mode and see if I can see it. There we go. So that's going to look like, this is what it's going to look like on mobile. So it's a nice responsive app. You can't beat that. It's got a really nice, look. I just switched and I'll toggle back. That's desktop. Looks fantastic. And there's mobile. Looks fantastic. All right. Thanks. That was your tip. Again, the big tip here is to first have a raw draft prompt and then send it to another AI, for instance, gemini.google.com, to refine it. And then start with this refined one, and you'll wind up probably saving yourself some credits.